Help me welcome very talented Mike Reisman, everybody.
That is some serious shit. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Had a big birthday 2 weeks ago, the big 5-0. I'm 50 years old. So I had a big party for all my friends and family last week, but no kids. So on my actual birthday, I told my kids, I said, look, we'll go any place you want. You tell me the place and we'll go. And they're pretty simple, so they just wanted hamburgers. And we went to that place, Five Guys. You guys know Five Guys? Yeah. Awesome, right? My wife couldn't go. She wasn't feeling good. But you go in and it's a terrific place. The French fries are the best I've ever had because they do them in that peanut oil. So as part of that shtick, they have, free peanuts all over the place. And they're trying to be a family place, right? So they have this big bulletin board up when you get there, if you know it, right? And they have these index cards and crayons. And they encourage the kids to write things like, Five Guys is the best burger, this place rocks, and they put it all up there and it's all nice. So we go up and waiting for our food, and I tell my kids, I said, let's put some stuff up here that's kind of funny, right? And I said, let me go first because it's my birthday. So I made like I'm a little kid when I'm writing it with the crayon, and I put, I never saw my mommy so happy as when she had Five Guys in her mouth, right? That's just what popped into my head, you know what I mean? So now it's my daughter's turn, and she's 13, and she's a cute kid, and she kind of gets where we're going here a little bit, so she puts on, nice and simple, nice nuts. I'm like, okay, perfect. Because peanuts all around the place, perfect. But now my son, who's 16, is coming up, and he thinks, my son does not have a sense of humor. He doesn't get it. He just thinks by being raunchy and dirty that's funny. I don't know where he gets that from, right? So he goes, and he writes, my mom likes to fuck Five Guys. I said, John, you fucked it up. No. And then I start thinking, I'm like, she didn't say something like that, did she? So then I had my party last week, right? My 50th, it was great. A lot of my buddies were there I hadn't seen in a while. And my buddy Mitch was there from high school, and I haven't seen him in like a year or two. So he comes over, we're talking, and he says, I gotta ask you a personal question. I said, sure, anything. He goes, are you wearing a hairpiece? I was like, what? And I was fucking pissed, right? He goes, you know, a wig. I go, dude, I know what a fucking hairpiece is. Don't explain it to me. And he's like, I said, no. I said, and I was pissed because I said, look, how long do I know you? He said, 35 years. I said, exactly. I said, if I was to get a hairpiece, do you think this is the one I would fucking pick? I would have a fucking mane of hair like Fabio, or like a Justin Bieber thing going on. Make a statement. I certainly wouldn't go to the salesman and say, what do you got that makes me look like I just finished a round or two of chemo? You got something like that for one? So I'm Jewish, and I hate, I hate that word. I don't hate being Jewish. I mean, I'm a proud Jew. I just hate the word Jewish, because listen to it, Jewish. It's like the most pussy-sounding word you want to hear, right? Look at the other major religions. Christianity, you're like, I am a Christian. It's got like a tough fucking macho way about it, Or Islam, you're like, I am a Muslim. A little scary if you ask me. But definitely let you know you're a man. I always look, Jewish, I'm Jewish. It's like, how the fuck did we get the pussy-sounding religion, So I've been doing some research on the internet, and I think I got it put together. Here's what happened. Probably about 2,000 some odd years ago, Roman guy's walking down the street with his buddy Murray. They're on the boulevard, going to the Coliseum, catch the late matches, right? Roman guy says, Murray, I gotta ask you a question. You're a Jew, right? And Murray's like, you know what, dude, I was born a Jew. I'm not really that into it. I mean, at best, I'm like Jew-ish. And now here we are. So Jews, we're not cool. Black people are cool, right? Black people are cool. Now racism, let's talk about racism a second, okay? I don't even understand racism. I don't understand how you could hate someone for what they are. It makes no sense to me. Anti-Semitism, racism, it's all fucking nuts, right? But the pendulum has gone too far. People now, you could do the most innocent thing and people are like, that's racist. And it's kind of nuts. This happened in my own friggin' house. My kids said to me, they go, you're racist. I'm like, I'm not a racist. And I'll tell you what happened. It was like the most innocent thing, but this is how hypersensitive they are. I'm in my house, all alone, minding my own business, right? And I'm masturbating to internet porn, right? A pop-up comes up and it said, tired of jerking off? How'd you like to fuck the girl next door? So I click on it, and a picture comes up of this beautiful, I mean beautiful black girl. So I moved. Come on, let it go. But here's the big difference between blacks and Jews, right? Black people are cool. They really are. Jews, nothing about us is cool. Not a fucking thing that we do is cool. I mean, look at it. Jay-Z is cool, right? Jay Moskowitz, not so much. Dr. Dre, cool. Dr. Ginsburg, no. So you think about it, like, I live in a neighborhood that's predominantly, well, it's an all-white neighborhood. It's predominantly Jewish, probably 60%. And what always kills me is the teenage boys in my neighborhood, they all either want to be or think they're black. They got their pants halfway down around their ass. They walk around like this, like, yo, when they see each other, it's friggin' hilarious. Because they always like this, they're like, yo, my brother, what's up, J-Dog? You keeping it real? And I'm like, no. J-Dog is Joshua Grossman, all right? His father's an ophthalmologist. The mom just had her tits done. They put a pool in the backyard. They're not keeping it real. This is not keeping it real. And here's the difference again. We can go to any black neighborhood in this country, and I promise you there's not a bunch of kids making believe they're Jews. I promise you. We can go up to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, any place in this country, and you're not going to see a bunch of kids greet each other like this. Hi, how are you? Oh my God, look who's here, it's Jamarcus. Oh my God. You look wonderful. Oh my God. Promise me we'll do lunch before you go to camp. Thank you. Speaking of camp, my kids are old now. They do the traditional Jew camp thing, you know. Well, my daughter does. My daughter goes to traditional sleepaway Jew camp. My son's got ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So he goes to a camp that's just for kids with ADHD. It's not so funny, okay? They do all the same things that kids do at any other camp. You know, they do the archery, the boating. The only difference is they have like these little workshops where they teach them how to focus. And I'm like, isn't it ironic that I have a kid that's in a concentration camp? So I work with this Orthodox Jewish guy, Dave Shapiro, a good buddy of mine, right? Yes, you guys know him. Okay, so one thing I've learned about the Orthodox, he's like, I don't know much about Judaism. Dave knows everything. So he's kind of like my mentor on Judaism. So when there's holidays, he watches out for me. And the one thing I've learned from him is that, first of all, the Orthodox have a million rules, but for every rule, they have a workaround. You know, they can't put the lights on Shabbat, but they have the time. It's all bullshit, right? They have a workaround. So, for the high holy days, Yom Kippur, for those of you that don't know, we fast for Yom Kippur for 26 hours. So you eat dinner, you finish around 6 o'clock, and nothing can pass your lips for the next 26. So about 8 p.m. the next night, you have dinner again. So he's telling me, he goes, are you going to fast for the holiday? I said, yeah. He goes, let me tell you what we do to make it easy. I'm like, okay. He says, eat your big meal, drink a lot of water. When you get up in the morning, take a caffeine suppository and stick it in your ass. I said, what? They even made such a fucking thing. I said, Dave, why would I do that? He goes, because you know what? The worst part isn't the hunger, and it's not the thirst. The worst part is the headache you get from not having coffee the next day. He goes, I checked with my rabbi. It's totally cool. You can do that. And I said, Dave, I appreciate the heads up, but I don't even drink coffee. I'm like, do you think it's okay if I jam a chicken palm up there? Because around noon or 1 o'clock, I'm fucking starving, you know? So as you could probably tell I'm not the most politically correct guy. Political correctness really just fucking pisses me off. Because you can't, there are certain words, why can't you say a word? A word is a fucking word. You should be able to say whatever the hell you want, depending on the context that it's in. So, do we have any golfers here?
Yeah.
Okay, golfers, okay. Back me up on this. When you're playing golf and it's just four guys and having a few beers, and you miss a putt by this much, what do you say you missed it by? That's right, a contact. You say, I missed it by a contact. Now look how quiet it is. Why can't you say it? Well, I'm thinking, why can't you say it? Is it because the C word is so taboo? Is that what it is? I don't think so. You know what it is? It's that no one under the age of 30 has actually ever seen a contact. To them, it's like a UFO. They've heard there's been sightings, but they really don't believe it. Right, so I got this one buddy, good friend of mine, he might even be here. His name is Fat Eddie. We call him Fat Eddie because use your imagination. His name is Eddie. He's fucking really fat, right? 420 pounds, literally 420, right? So when we hang out, I can't help but make fun of him. So the last time we're hanging out, I'm looking at him and I'm busting his balls. He goes, "Do you got to do this always?" And I go, "Whoa, somebody woke up on the wrong 2/3 of the bed again." He says, "Come on." He goes, "Quit busting my balls." He goes, "I lost a few. Can you tell?" And I said, "Honestly, no, I can't." I go, "What do you weigh?" He goes, "I'm 399. I go, "What are you on fucking sale?" And whenever I tell people a story about Eddie, and they go, "Oh, my buddy Eddie, he's 420 pounds," they always ask the same question. They go, "Oh my God, how tall is he?" I'm like, "What do you think I'm going to say, 9'7"? Okay? There's no height for 420. 420 is just fucking fat. That's all it is. So I just got my first dog, right? We got him about 5-6 months ago. And he's awesome. And what happened is, there's an organization that they train service dogs to go into the army as bomb sniffers. He was going to go to Afghanistan, right? And if the dog doesn't make it for whatever reason, they adopt it out. So we were on this waiting list for the longest time, and then finally I get a call. And they go, "Great news, you got a dog." I'm like, "Oh my God, tell me about him." They go, "He's awesome. You're going to love him. He's a black lab. He's 15 months old. He's the best." I said, "That's amazing. If you don't mind me asking, like, what's wrong with him? Why did he fell out of the program, right?" He goes, "Nothing's wrong with him. It's just that his handler felt that he lacked a little self-confidence and had trouble following instructions." And I said, "Oh, that's great, because I got 2 kids at home that follow the same exact description. You know what I mean? We'll just jack him up with Ritalin like the other 2. Everything will be fine." So I said, "What's his name?" He said, "His name is Valentine." I'm like, "Valentine? That's a strange name for a male dog, you know?" I'm like, "But he's black, you know how they are with the names, right?" So now I gotta call my kids and tell them we got a dog, and they're gonna be just over the moon. They're gonna be nuts. So I call them up, my daughter picks up, and I said, "Honey, great news, we got a dog." She goes, "Oh my God, tell me about it." I said, "He's amazing. They sent me pictures. He's a black lab. He's 15 months old. He's awesome." She says, "What's his name?" And I was a little hesitant to tell her because she really wanted like a classic dog name. So I said, "You know what, honey? He's got a bit of a strange name, but I think you're going to love it because he's named after one of your favorite holidays." And she goes, "Oh my God, Hanukkah?" I said, "Yeah, they took a dog that they were breeding to go to Afghanistan. Named him Hanukkah." One of my neighbors, they have a dog, they have a lab also, right? And the dog had cancer a couple of years ago. The dog's like 8 or 9 years old at the time, and they spent like $10,000, $11,000 to keep the dog alive, right? At the time, I said to my wife, I said, "Man, if I had a dog, I wouldn't fucking spend 10 grand to keep it alive. Fuck that, dead dog, you know, 10 grand. And now we have one, so my son didn't forget that. So now he says to me, he says, "Dad, how much would you spend to keep Valentine alive?" I said, "You know what, John? 10 grand sounds about right. I would spend about 10,000 to keep him alive." And he goes, 10,000? That's so fucking cheap. He goes, "He's a member of our family, man." He goes, this dog is in our house. I love this dog." He goes, "You should spend way more than that." And I said, "Well, how much do you think we should spend?" He goes, 100,000. I said, 100,000? I said, and I realized I'm talking to a 16-year-old. And I said, "John, do you know that 100,000, how much money 100,000 is?" I'm like, "For $100,000, I would blow a man." All right? I said, "Now, basically, here's the situation you're putting me in. You're asking me, would I blow a guy to keep our dog alive?" And I told him, I said, "Let me tell you something. The answer to that depends on the fucking guy, okay? You guys have been great. Have a great night."
Give it up for Reisman, everybody. Let him hear